Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome back to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. How are y'all?
What was that?
I have
I
no
don't know. I
idea.
thought someone was kissing for a second there.
I thought we were being attacked by a
How
vampire.
did
I'm all right. You're right.
I'm all right. You all right?
Hello, Peter. Hello, Peter.
Good.
I'm good.
Doing well.
How are you?
I'm
Just
fine.
watching.
How are you?
I haven't seen Heather in ages. Hi, Heather. Hey, Sarah.
Everybody's
JR
in there.
Nova, man from my own heart.
Ah. Hey, yo. Cowboy hat as always. Not as always, but whenever I can.
Yeah, you need to send me
Well-
a cowboy hat. I want a cowboy hat. Can you give me a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, like made like alligator cowboy boots?
Maybe
I
not
tried on
alligator.
cowboy boots once.
Pricey.
What kind
I
of
tried on
alligator
cowboy boots once, and it looked so ridiculous. It was.
I'm
it was
size
you?
8. The only thing is, I've got a freakishly big head for somebody that's only like 5'7". It's freakishly big, to the point where I had a job ages ago. I had to wear a helmet, and they had to order a special one for me because my head's too big. So-
Chaz is also 5'7", and I don't know if he'll ever pop in or not. We'll see if the Austin nightlife was too much for him or not. But dude's head is literally while he was staying with me the last couple months for the play and stuff. I don't know how it came up, but it just cracked up. At one point his head size came up. He tried to put the hat on. That's exactly what it was. And he apparently has the same size head as George Lopez. He was trying to get a hat fitted one time, and they're like, "You literally have a Lopez head," which is apparently the largest like head on the size of the planet or something like that. But
I just can't wear hats. I'm a nightmare with hats. It's big and it's bulbous.
We'll
So
find
I
you the
have a
right
problem.
one. I guess. Would you rather wear it in summer or winter? Is the real question. Are we gonna get you a straw hat or a felt hat? You know?
Felt, man. I don't want a straw hat. I can get a straw hat. I need a felt hat. I need a proper cowboy hat.
All right. We switching then?
Yeah, and I want it to be black as well because I'm evil. And I want to kill innocent people. And I don't want to be a white hat.
America.
Peter makes a good point. Cowboy hats are a bit like wearing a kilt. You got to be born into it.
Yeah, that's probably fair. That's probably right, to be fair. Yeah. Anything outside of Texas, you're just like an idiot. Well, a couple of states.
Wyoming and Montana, we'll give it to them too. Maybe
Yeah,
a couple
I can't walk around Telford wearing a pig in cowboy hat, man. I'll get some looks.
There's a lot of them here in New Mexico. A lot of them.
Yeah.
New Mexico's good. Arizona people wear them too, just not as often. Maybe Ransom slides while Archer leaps.
I should get a bowler hat because I'm British.
You should. Why don't you already have one?
I know, right? I should have one. Where's my bowler hat? Damn it!
I have no
I
idea.
felt like y'all's houses came with bowler hats and tea kettles.
I was born and I came straight out and I had a cup of tea, please, and stuck a bowler hat on me. But I lost it at some point. But no, I need.
Is it also like his Dark Materials? You know his Dark Materials, the Golden Compass, where they have like the demons or the daemons that are like their little like sidekicks essentially. Y'all are all born with bulldogs, right?
Yeah. We've all got British bulldogs, mate. Everyone's got British
I
bulldogs.
assume so. You know.
Yeah. It's like I said again. There's when I was born, there was a dog next to me giving birth to a bulldog that then is mine, and then we were like fused to so that like. Instinctually it thinks I'm his dad. That's how that works.
The
Science,
true
that's-
lineage. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
science.
You know.
And then it had my bowler hat. Ooh.
Does the bulldog have a bowler hat though? Is the question.
Peter's got a good point there, though. So it's a flat cap. I do have more than one flat cap. So that is genuine. That is my British. I love my flat cap. But
2-1 to Arsenal. Who's playing Arsenal? Y'all were? Oh God.
in America. We're in America doing that talk. But it's the friendlies. We put like a bunch of kids on, a bunch of kids playing that we're never ever going to see again. But yeah, it was not good. I don't like losing to Arsenal.
Yeah. That's my buddy that
It was not our first team. Piss off. We had some of our first team players before.
He's so touchy today.
Well, I don't like losing. But yeah, I don't think we've no. My back's killing me, so I do need some meds.
I've got some green
We
ones.
did have a few of our first team. We do have a few of our first team.
Uh-oh. Well, shall we jump into this? Stormy, have you seen the new Deadpool and Wolverine yet?
No, I have not.
Do you mind if we talk
There
spoilers?
will be spoilers.
Don't spoil away. Spoil away.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it involves Deadpool and Wolverine, and they shoot guns and they save the world. Is that the plot?
Wolverine's in it. No, the Wolverine's not in it. That's a surprise. You think he's in it, and then he's not
Oh,
at all.
well.
All the trailers were lies. Lies, I say.
The opening scene was great, but what is Muzrai?
He's a left back that we're looking at buying. He's very injury prone. So
Is that like Blu-ray, but it's Muzi-er?
Muzrai.
no, it sounds like a pizza topping or something. You're gonna put a bit of a mousse on there for you, sir? Oh, that'd be lovely, thank you.
An Italian cheese.
Yeah, sounds like Italian cheese burger. I don't know much about him, but he's the left back, and anybody can play right back as well. And are we going to start talking about football?
I mean, we're still early on. We can talk about whatever. Because I do want to obviously talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, but I don't know if you saw this, and then this is what I think would be a good start into it. What did I just see? I just saw the message. Somehow, there we are. Tony Stark returns. Did y'all see that?
Oh, no. Okay, now shall we make a promise now that we will not do direct spoilers and ruin it for anybody that hasn't seen it? Should we try to do? Should we talk more about the controversy around it and the
about Deadpool or
Deadpool Wolverine? So the critics have really gone at it. Some it's been okay, but a lot of critics. I also had one that was 3 out of 10 for this movie, and that is, I mean, it's bull, to be honest. I watched it yesterday. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's my one critique. They actually, like the fourth wall stuff. It was like occasionally it was like, Ryan, you're supposed to be doing a movie. Can we remember that there's also a movie going on? But so there was just too much of that. It was too much.
Well, I'm glad you loved it because I've seen it twice now. Saw it Thursday evening and saw it Friday night. Thursday, I saw it by my lonesome at like 4:00, and like one of the first showings, all that. It was 40X, so it was a lot of fun, seats moving around and everything. But whenever I see a movie by myself, especially a big Marvel movie where you're supposed to have a bunch of friends with you, all that kind of stuff, my critical thinking cap is on. It's at best a 6 out of 10. At best, a 6 out of 10. 5 out of 10 is probably exactly where it's at.
What are you comparing it to?
So much fun. Any movie, especially I'm comparing it to Marvel movies. That's really not any movie. I might even rate it I wouldn't say 3 or 4, but a little lower. It's a succinctly middle of the road movie. It's not a movie anyone's going to be talking about in a year. It's not in a year and a half. It won't be relevant anymore. And that's saying that before Secret Wars.
Yeah, that's fair. What would you give it if you compare it to other Deadpool movies?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's a 5 or 6 out of 10 because both and
Deadpool or Deadpool 2. I think it's better than
Deadpool movie. Sadly,
it's not as good as the original, but I think it's better than the second one.
I love it when mom and dad fight.
Well, I like that we have the dichotomy of opinions here because I do like the movie and because I am actually like having I feel like all of my opinions about the movie come off as negativity because there's so much just like, oh, it was the best thing ever, so much fun, whoop-de-doo. No. I'm just being honest about it. I still had a damn good time with the movie. It's just a very middle of the road movie. It didn't do anything special. The only thing special it did was allow Wolverine to come back in a pretty cool way. Sure, we got Hugh Jackman again, and it sent off all of Fox's X-Men very appropriately, especially with the end little credits.
It was a nice goodbye to Fox. You do have a super chat. So
yes. Which I'll say
it's simple. No,
you fuck that bitch. Says,
yeah. I told you in the video last week that there wouldn't be, and no, there wasn't.
No, sadly, no. But thank you for the super chat. Yes, if y'all send them in, we read them as soon as we see them. And there, just no gate news. Sadly,
there is a bit of MGM news that might be relevant. That United Artists is coming back. So MGM so it's going to be another thing, and I don't know what this means, so don't shoot the messenger, but the guy from MGM that I speak to every so often sent me a link to this a couple of days ago, the day before it was announced, basically saying, "Watch out for this." And he didn't say anything else. And I messaged him back, going, "What does that mean?" And he just sent back smiley face. So we'll talk about Trekgate. We'll talk about Stargate in a minute. Star Trek in a minute, because that is cool. But after we've talked about Wolverine. But yeah, so United Artists to make a new Stargate movie. Maybe that's what they've been waiting for. I don't know, but
the guy Stuber, at least from that article, the guy seems like he wants to make old things, not like old things new again, but like bring back at least the old, not necessarily process of filmmaking, but at least like not, I don't know a better word besides vibe or something like that. But he's trying to bring in that like aura of, hey, let's love what we're doing and like do something about it, you know? Which I like.
And he's the guy he's been the force behind a lot of the Netflix movies over the last 10 years. And I would argue that Netflix have done some good stuff.
Yeah, he's behind the better ones. Marriage Story, Roma, a bunch of like actually Oscar-winning things, as well as like fun big movies too. He's doing well.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Trekgate here. We want Stargate done right, plain and simple.
Subtle Trekgate, subtle.
Such a Brad pun there.
Yeah. Exactly, subtle. But yeah, so to go back to Wolverine, I think there's a lot of in this film. There's a lot of, oh look, it's Wolverine, and I think they forgot to sort of do anything else. But the fourth wall stuff got to the point where it was getting silly, really. That it was literally every other thing he said, and I'm like.
The movie was too meta for itself in both that sense. There's two things. Totally the fourth wall breaking and like it wouldn't be that bad. I don't even mind it. It was a lot because of how often it was happening as well. I think that hurt. But it could have been better even having it all in the same places. If the things they weren't saying, like one of the reasons this will not be relevant in a year and a half is half the jokes are, look at all that Marvel cash that brought us back. Oh, look. He didn't even say Wolverine or Logan. He's like, got a big bag of cash, eh, Hugh? You know, like, cool, you know, like.
Well, did Wolverine do any fourth pain stuff?
No, he doesn't break the fourth.
No, he doesn't actually. Everyone else, it's just Deadpool, isn't it?
And nice pool. We get one nice pool.
Yeah.
What did he say? That
I like that one bit where actually he says, I think Nice Pool just says something, and Deadpool makes a point and goes, "What, talking on the fourth wall? That's my thing. That's what I do." Something. But yeah, we won't talk about the cameos, but there's a couple of quite cool cameos in this actually that I wasn't expecting. I think we can say Chris Evans. I think that's pretty much out there, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Chris Evans
we won't tell you which Chris Evans.
But there's a nice twist on it.
Yes.
That I wasn't expecting. And as soon as actually that scene started, I should have known that's where they were going to go. But it was nicely done. And the way, I think, again, it's fair to say, he carks it quite quickly, but the way it's done is fucking brilliant.
And the so villain good. That you get from the end of it is great, too. It's a great little intro to the villain and how terrifying she is.
Yeah.
But they don't utilize the villain. Like, that's one thing that we'll get into in a second is there should not have been a TVA in this movie. There shouldn't have. It immediately lowered the quality of it. It's like, oh, we're on Disney Plus here. You know, like just mentally, that's where we go. It's like, oh, we're back on Disney Plus, and then what do we have on Disney Plus to like correlate things with? Not good stuff for the most part. So
I think they had to do the TVA stuff though, and they to make the story happen.
He should have just not destroyed Cable's time device. He had Cable's time device. If you want to bring somebody in from Loki or something like that, bring Loki in. He's literally the herald guy. He's controlling the multiverse right now. Say, hey, you've been screwing with your universe so much. That's not okay. You're going down. I mean, I'm sure Loki has the same power to just bring him into the void. Still, well, too many almost spoilers. It's gonna be.
We'll calm it down. We'll calm it.
But it's gonna be rocky.
There's more the argument though that I would argue that the fourth wall it is too much. It feels like the last Love and Thunder. That's what it feels like a little bit in that it's like it washes away the power of the comedy when it's constant. And that's the same thing with the fourth wall stuff in this. It's because it's like every other word he says is like something about Disney or something about things that it's like it's too much. And in Love and Thunder, there's too many stupid jokes that individually, but they lose their power because it's too like you haven't recovered from the last one to notice the next one. If that makes sense. That is my only critique.
Yeah, and I think Deadpool and Deadpool 2 still have frequent jokes throughout the entirety of their film, but the reason it does better is they're smarter jokes. They're like, even if they do feel like they come off of the quip, and I'm sure some of them do come off very quippy, and like they're all not all improv, but I'm sure a good chunk of them have always been improv. This one just was dick and ass jokes. I don't know a better way to say that. Sorry for the excuse the French real quick.
Jokes.
But some of them are funny. Some of them are great, especially the one where you at the beginning, in the little fight sequence. Won't say too much about that one because that is legitimately funny. And there are a few that are funny, but if that's the only type of joke you're telling, you've told highbrow comedy as well as lowbrow comedy. The lowbrow kind of plays into the highbrow because it starts off kind of like stupid, and then you end up telling a really good joke in Deadpool and Deadpool 2. And this one, it just stays lowbrow. It never reaches the highbrow. But that and the whole just the fourth wall breaking with especially talking about money the entire time. Oh, well, Marvel's gonna have him until he's 90 now, and then if they just didn't talk about them being paid so damn much in the movie, it would last. It's very topical now, but it won't be topical in 2 years because of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to make money. Its budget was $270 million ish.
205 US and 438 or 483, one of the two of those.
400. And I mean, the budget was 270. So for the studio to make money, they need to make about $540 million. They've already made worldwide. That is. They've already made. They've gone over 400 million in the first weekend.
Oh yeah, already.
So, they are going to make money, and the merchandising and everything is just ridiculous as well. So they're going. So this film is not going to be. There is one. There's a big thing.
I was like, look down.
They're going to make bank, and hey, they'll probably do more. So, but like I say. Yeah, I think it's a. It was. I thought we're going to do the Star Wars debate at some point, but I just saw that thing. It's just. I loved it. I have to admit, I loved it. I thought the special effects were stunning. I saw some of the fight scenes were brilliant. I think we've seen a lot of it. My only issue is maybe I've seen a lot of that movie in the trailers. There wasn't massive surprises in there, maybe as much as I'd have liked. But it wasn't like the best bits from the trailers. Yeah. I would say it's better than the second one, but not as good as the first one. And it's still one of the best Marvel movies in a while.
I miss David Leitch. I wanted David Leitch from Deadpool 2 to come back and direct this one. And he did Fall Guy earlier this year, and I think if he was there, we would have an actual, I guess.
Yes,
and yes.
Did badly. It pretty much bombed, and
it did.
But it did just okay. And I thought it was really good.
I thought it was really good too. They hurt themselves, and they did. We won't jump into this conversation, but all like the whole quote unquote the woke movies. The biggest thing that they kick themselves in the foot is like they're not trying to herald the story. They're trying to say, okay, well, this is what we want you to get from the story at the end, and that's what they advertise. Fall Guy did the same thing. We're like, we want you to love stuntmen by the end of this movie. You're going to feel like stuntmen are underappreciated by the end of this movie. Don't tell us that. Show us why. We need to know why. And that's what we didn't get from that. I get what Popcorn's saying here. If they make bank now, they don't need to worry if the movie will last the test of time. But that's besides the point of making a movie. Make a TikTok if you're going to make something that's going to last for a year. If that Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2, that's why I'm saying like they will stand the test of time better because they have like jokes that are going to last for forever. They can joke and laugh about them 10 years from now and it still be just as funny. Where this one's not going to have that. And okay, so where the meta-ness per se of the fourth wall breaking was a lot. The other thing that really got me, and the first viewing it really threw off the rest of my viewing because I was thinking about it. And then the second one, I was like, I'm waiting for this single line. I'm waiting for this line just to gauge like how early it comes on. It's in the first 15 to 18 minutes of the movie. Ryan Reynolds, it's not a big spoiler or anything like that. It's not even a spoiler. One line he's talking to a certain character that is a cameo and says, I don't want to be a one-trick pony anymore. I want to do something like good with my life, you know? And then he proceeds to be a one-trick pony for the rest of the film. And not only because it's in the trailers, I can say it. He brings in a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen more Deadpool, and every single one of them are a one-trick pony as well. The thing that gets me about it the most, that hurts me at the end of the day, because I just wanted so much from it. The first 2 movies, they have heart, but they have soul too. And Miranda Baccarin is a big part of that soul in both those movies. This movie has some heart. It has moments of heart, and there is no soul. It is so hollow. There's not even a plot line. The plot is this: coincidence, action sequence, level out for a little bit and hang out. Coincidence, action sequence, level out for a little bit, hang out. Coincidence, action sequence, end the movie.
There's a couple of monologues thrown in there when it's actually Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds talking to each other rather than the characters.
They have a good couple personal moments, and then Daphne Keane is the true heart of the movie. Hugh Jackman and Daphne Keane are the heart. They were excellent. Every moment they were there was great. Acting wise as well.
She was fantastic. Actually, she's going to be a big star. She's fantastic.
Even Ant-Man had better humor.
No, Ant-Man. Well, no. Which one?
The first 2, not Quantumania. Quantumania and Deadpool 3, I guess, have a lot of same problems, I think.
First Ant-Man is excellent. The second Ant-Man is pretty good. The third Ant-Man is awful.
Quantumania had a whole lot of humor, but it was in a different universe and never saw it on screen.
Yeah, different universe. It all happened off screen.
It happened in the universe with all the ants.
Right.
The bit with the giant head dude, I forget the proper character's name in the
MODOK.
Actor from the first MODOK. Yeah. That was done so badly that one of the things with Marvel films I think they've done in the past is they've sort of took the comics, but they've changed them just enough that they worked on screen. And then sometimes they've given us twists. Ben Kingsley as the Mandalorian, not the Mandalorian, Mandarin, was Mandarin and Orange? Mandarin. That's
technically,
right.
Yes, but
it's on Orange. They did that so brilliantly, and that really, really worked. And it's sort of like, well, that worked. Let's do it again. And I'm like, no. The point was that you did it once, that it worked. You do it again, you better do it just as cleverly. And they just didn't with MODOK. They just sort of went, it's me. And we all went, oh, for fuck's sake. I vaguely remember him for the first movie. How's his head that big? It's just like, it just wasn't done well. Hey, Mudlock, Steve. I've not seen you in ages. I am well.
Yeah.
I need to message you later. I need to say hello. Happy birthday.
Last time he was here. Hey.
Popcorn saying, I disagree that all movies need to have staying power over the years. 1 second, I'll get to that in a second. This movie provides a much needed relief for audiences that have been starving for fun. Art and fun do not have to correlate, and even if it is fun, let's say if it just needs to be starving for fun and get a quick little thing out, you're thinking about this like it's fast food. First of all, there's no $270 million fast food anything. You're going to get thousands of people together to make a project that is artful. You're not making fast food. You're making art. And at least you should approach it and try to make art from that. A film should be a nice 3 or 4 course meal that you had at a steakhouse one night. It should not be fast food. And if it's the equivalent to fast food, there's not a good point in making it. If it's strictly for cash, because that's not for fun. What you're saying is not for audiences to have fun. That is saying that's Marvel making cash right there. That's the only reason they'd make it, and that's depressing. We need an actual good film to that would reinvigorate people. That brings all the fun. A good fun film would bring everything, but it needs to be good first and foremost. And this was not focused on being good. I'm not saying it's not good. It's not great. I think it's middle of the road to good, but it's movies are not high art, but they're art nonetheless. It doesn't have to be high art. I'm not saying Deadpool Wolverine's going to win any Oscars, but even stupid can be well done.
I would say 2001 would be a high art.
The which one?
2001: A Space Odyssey by Kubrick. I think that's high
totally
art.
I mean, a film can be art and a film can be stupid, but stupid can, like Airplane is one of the stupidest movies ever made, but it's done so brilliantly that it's brilliant.
Sorry, go ahead.
Trek Gates just said something about why there's no Babylon 5 reboot, because I told you like 3 months ago. But Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to do it. Simple as that. They couldn't even get one of the smaller production companies to do it. But anyway, they tried to get Roku. Apparently, was slightly interested, but then
Roku.
they don't want to do it. Yeah, Roku were going to do it. Anyway, or they were talking to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers just didn't want. The Warner Brothers wanted to do it, but they didn't want to pay for it. It was simple as that, and nobody else wanted to pay for it either. So it's not going to happen. But I told you 6 months ago, so I don't know why he's disappointed. The Picard movie, I think that's still a possibility, but they haven't announced it this weekend, and there were a lot of rumors that it would be announced this weekend, and it's not been. But they've announced this. I've just done a video talking about it. They've announced a Star Trek sitcom instead. Just kill me now.
Wait, that was an actual comment?
There's going to be another fucking musical as well. There's going to be another musical.
Was that real?
I saw a comment earlier. I thought it was a joke.
No, but no, it's a sitcom. They're going to do 30-minute live action Star Trek comedy, basically a sitcom.
I'm almost intrigued. I mean, if it's a musical, we have like the Dancing Kirks, you know.
Make it so, make it so, make it so. Yeah. No. Oh, and Alex Kurtzman is co-writing it.
I haven't even seen his stuff. I just know how y'all talk about him, and that's just funny enough. Like, oh god,
oh dear God,
it's Shawnee. I'm not saying his first name. Newton. Oh, I forgot the name. It's the lady that does one of the voices from Lower Decks, who is actually a comedian. And she's been doing a lot of writing for the new Academy as well, which is cool. Shawnee, what's her name? Newton. There's some bloke that I've never heard of, so I Googled him. And he's done movies over the last few years. And I'm looking at the thing, but he's never done anything that's ever done anything good. They keep calling it he might be the next Spike Lee. But apparently he's going to be one of the writers on this sitcom. And I'm like, okay. And
Spike Lee on a sitcom.
And
I gotta have it.
And a musical. But I haven't found out what the musical bit was yet. I just saw it as a headline that apparently there's talk about another musical. I don't know where it's going to be. But my point is that Lower Decks is separate from the rest of, even though it is canon, it's separate because it's a cartoon. So you can separate it in your mind. A live action comedy. I'm like, that's going to piss fans off. That's going to really piss fans off. So we'll see. Well, let's see what they do, though.
Yeah. It's always sunny on Vulcan.
But we're supposed to be getting...
We got to get DeVito on that one, too. Just
we're supposed to be getting a Paramount Plus movie every 2 years. So there was an expectation that would be announced. I heard a rumor that they were looking at announcing. They wanted to announce something big. I've heard nothing about this comedy. Nothing. But that's not been announced. No legacy, no news either. But I did say I don't expect that. I've been hearing that's going to be later in the year. And only if Skydance say so. But we'll see.
I'm still hung up on the sitcom thing. It's
no.
Star Trek Love Boat. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's Star Trek for bitter old cat ladies. Oh,
wasn't that Data?
Yeah. But I tell you what, man, they do not know over at Skydance what the contract is going to be next year. They don't know. Over at Some Secret Hideout, sorry, because Skydance are going to come in. It'll take about 6 months for them to come in, and then it's probably about 6 months for them to get their feet under the table, and then the Star Trek contract is up. So they don't know what it's going to, what Skydance is going to want them to do. They don't know. They've just been told by Paramount bosses, carry on, just carry on, without just don't worry about it, sort of thing. But I tell you what, Alex Kurtzman is trying to get his feet under the table in as many different shows as he possibly can because that man wants to keep his damn job.
Someone said earlier that he needs to find something outside of Trek just to go again. Yeah,
well,
it was a Trek Muppet movie.
Yeah. Well, the plan was, but Warner Brothers, what they wanted to do was buy him out, and they were going to basically bribe him with a 3-movie deal. So they're going to say, right, we'll give you a 3-movie deal and some money, and we will buy you out of Secret Hideout, because it's easier for them to keep Secret Hideout. Whoever, it's easier for Skydance as well, because untangling Secret Hideout from Star Trek now is going to be a ball ache, regardless of contract, because they're so intertwined now. And Secret Hideout own elements of Star Trek that they've produced. The stuff they've made, they own elements. If it's original, they kind of own that within the IP of Star Trek, sort of thing.
Especially if they've made new characters,
created characters and things like that. Yeah, all within the Star Trek. But so I mean, they if somebody else makes Star Trek other than Secret Hideout, they will have to do certain elements differently, or they'll have to buy Secret Hideout or off. You know,
how
pay
much
them off.
is Secret Hideout worth?
Yeah. I had a solicitor that the deal was like 500 million or something that they initially signed. So I mean, it was ridiculous. 500 or 50? Might be 50 million. They had a fee, I think, was 50 million. But anyway, it's just it's going to be so difficult for them to untangle them. I honestly think Skydance might give them a new deal just because they haven't got time to do anything else. That may be where we go with this. Skydance might actually, Secret Hideout might get another 5-year deal just because Skydance won't have time to get a plan B.
You think it'll be a whole 5-year deal again, or can they go in there and make like a 2 or 3-year deal? Or do they have to like renew or cancel a contract?
Well, the one guy that I spoke to that is a legal thing, he says what they may do is just do individual contracts for the shows they want. So what they could do is say, well, we'll contract to do Strange New Worlds, instead of doing it at the moment, they have a deal to produce Star Trek. That's basically their deal. You do Star Trek. So he says there's a couple of options. They might just say, right, that's it, we're done. Just produce whatever's in production now, finish, and that's it. They might do a new contract that just says for individual shows, or they'll renew it. But like I said, the last thing I was told was they might just renew it because that's all they've got time for. And that's really that'll be the worst thing, I think, for fans.
So you think the renewal is just a fast track to just get something done?
Yeah, I think so. Just because they'll want to keep producing Star Trek. Skydance will want to keep producing Star Trek. Yeah. But the time, they just will not have time to negotiate something, or they won't have time to figure out what else to do. So I honestly think if they just say, right, we're not renewing the contract, we'll just finish off what you've got, we'll probably then have a year or maybe 2 years without any Star Trek on our screens, because Skydance are going to have to then figure something else out, sort of thing. But some people would argue that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I was about to say that might not be a bad thing, but then also my brain went to, aren't they working? Isn't it's separate? Aren't there another set of Star Trek movies being made right now?
There's a bit of confusion about this, and even in the people I speak to, they don't seem to quite know what the thing is. So Simon Kinberg, it has been announced now, is in negotiations to do a new Star Trek movie, and this is going to be the prequel movie that's supposed to be set somewhere after sort of Enterprise, but before the 2009 Star Trek movie. So it will be prime timeline, which we want. We don't want fucking Kelvin timeline again.
You love you some Kelvin.
Oh yeah. And it's supposed to. I've been told that it was going to be the launch of the Enterprise, or at the end of the 3-movie run, we were going to see the launch of the Enterprise. That's what I was told, but but who knows, because it's still being written. So there was supposed to be another movie, because it was supposed to be Star Trek 4 with Chris Pine, but it doesn't. Nobody seems to know if that's happening or not. But it has been announced.
It was announced a long time ago, wasn't it?
But it's not going. They announced it and then nothing has happened. So people seem to be a bit confused. But I think the Simon Kinberg movie will happen, because it's the 60th anniversary, either next year or the year after. So I think they're going to want to try to do something in and around that.
Wow. Do you think I'll be able to watch it in the correct timeline chronology by the time I get there from where I'm actually watching it?
I don't think you're going to be able to watch Star Trek in a chronological timeline. I don't think it'll make any sense.
I'm going to try.
Well,
if it doesn't make sense by the end of it.
Stormy, go on.
You could have, if you had like multiple TVs, and then one switches on while another one's playing, then you could have like a whole TV just for the Kelvin timeline, as you got Leonard Nimoy doing his thing.
Yeah.
So,
it can be done.
Why is it called the Kelvin timeline, I guess?
Yeah.
When the ship was named the Kelvin.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
I thought it was like
Wasn't
degrees Kelvin or something. I was like, did they not instead of the prime timeline? Can we call it the Celsius timeline or something? Or like,
But I'm guessing it's the Kelvin. The ship was named the Kelvin, wasn't it?
Yes,
I-
the ship that the incident happened was the Kelvin, yeah, and that's when the timeline.
USS Kelvin. Yeah, he has got it.
It's just said it's 1966. The first series came out, so that would be the production plan, was to have a movie out in 2026 for this 60th anniversary.
oh, they gotta get kicking then. Yeah.
They can do that. I mean, they've already got a director on board. They've already got. I don't know why Kingberg is coming in so late, and apparently they've already got a script, or a script is being worked on.
He's not directing it, right?
No, he's just coming on as producer.
That's right. Okay, good. Because
Did you have to mention it was the 60th anniversary? I mean, damn it! I'm getting so.
I wasn't born for another 12 years after that, mate. So if I feel like
I'm on the prehistoric timeline, apparently.
Hey, I was only 33 years behind that. Don't worry.
Next week, my background's gonna be all dinosaurs. I think it's just 60th anniversary. God,
It's my dinosaur impression.
That's when it first came out, and it's just not fair. All right, fine.
We need your interpretation of a T-Rex, and then also your best interpretation of the Velociraptor whistle from Jurassic Park.
Okay, so the Velociraptor used to be able to do go.
Oh, that's quite good, actually. Yeah, that's quite good. I'm liking more like a sea lion.
There's a little gargly there. Sorry, I've been coughing all morning, so it may not have been perfect. That was my best Velociraptor.
I mean, Velociraptors
nothing
like
shot out
Jurassic
of my
World.
mouth, so I'm fortunate for that.
Like Jurassic World told us, Velociraptors were essentially just reptilian dogs back then, hunting as packs, right? So,
yeah.
I guess sea lions are just the dogs of the sea. It's perfect, you know.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's more like this. It was one, with the one thing with just the.
I don't know.
A minute ago, David was saying, haven't we already had a sitcom in space? I think it was called The Avenue or something like that. It had Hugh Laurie in it.
Yeah.
We
Avenue
had
5, sorry.
Avenue 5, Space Force, and then Mudlarking 7.
I liked Avenue 5. I was disappointed that got cancelled. I quite liked it.
I never saw it. I do want to kind of watch it. But do you know what we didn't get, which I'm still sad about to this day? Because I do love some sci-fi, and y'all know I like my sitcoms, and which also I'm so excited for the new episode of Futurama tonight, season 12, baby. And Red Dwarf, Blake Seven and Red Dwarf are great sitcoms as well. But the
sci-fi comedy can work, but Third Rock from the Sun, that's a good idea. I wouldn't say that was a sci-fi thing, though, Third Rock from the Sun. It was a sitcom that the situation was that there were aliens, but there wasn't really much sci-fi in it, if I'm honest.
No.
That was just the plot device to explain why they were so stupid. Red Dwarf, for me, was the only... Blake Seven was good, to be fair, but Red Dwarf, for me, is the only time that they've ever done a sci-fi sitcom that worked. That wasn't animated, because I say Futurama is and that works. And to be fair, Lower Decks worked as well. Lower Decks is fantastic, but it's a cartoon. It's different.
The giant head. Oh well, another cartoon that works great is Rick and Morty, and then Solar Opposites.
I've never watched Rick and Morty ever.
Did you watch the Solar Opposites though?
What's that?
Solar Opposites, that other one that's like Rick and Morty adjacent.
No, never watched that either.
That's the one I think y'all should start with because it's more hard sci-fi, but it's just fun. But I will forever be disappointed this didn't happen, and I want it to happen again one day because they have the pilot filmed. They would have to refilm it because they filmed it in 2007 or 8 or 9, I think, something like that. But the entirety of the It's Always Sunny cast and crew filmed a sci-fi comedy sitcom pilot based. It would have been it was essentially the Orville pre-Orville. But it would have felt maybe less like inherently Star Trek and more like maybe like a little like expansy to a degree, some kind of middle ground. And I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I will. It wasn't the best pilot ever, but it would have been the best show ever. I just know it, you know, because It's Always Sunny's too damn good. Imagine Danny DeVito coming in there and having a great like sci-fi role. I mean, please.
Yeah. Oh, I had a bit of info actually, because one of the guys I speak to was talking, has been standing at Comic Con, and he says that when he ever goes, you get to talk to other people you haven't seen in ages. And he reckons he was talking to somebody about the Babylon 5 thing not happening. He was talking to somebody about you just reminded me. Oh, The Expanse.
Yeah.
That nobody wants to buy it. The production company have been trying to sell it, and they apparently they had Apple on the hook about a year ago, and they were up for it, and now they're like, "No, all right."
Is that part of their like budget thing they're trying to do?
Got the budget down by like $1 billion or something.
Yeah.
So they're not interested. So apparently nobody else is going for it. The Babylon 5 was literally because nobody wanted it. And the argument all the way to on was, if we can't do a reboot, fans will go nuts. So that's not happening.
Wait, are you saying like the imagined fan pushback would be too much, and they just don't want to handle it because of negative shit on Twitter or whatever?
Yeah, it would just be hatred. They said it just would be too. The way the guy explained to me ages ago, he basically said to me the argument was for the big production companies, because initially Amazon looked at it and they thought about it for freebie apparently, and they said, "Oh, it would fit freebie, lovely." But now Amazon have completely changed their sort of plan, that they're not producing a great deal for freebie anymore. They've decided that will be the rerun channel. So they initially, about 2 years ago, they were thinking they were going to start producing stuff specifically for it, and they actually did. They started doing the odd little bit for it, but it's kind of stopped because they've decided it's going to be this thing. So the idea being now is, like, if say Stargate TV series comes, it'll be on MGM Plus first, and then they will repeat it on Freevee at some point down the line, and that's kind of the idea. So they decided they went against it. They didn't want it. But apparently the big production companies, their big thing was that the fans are going to the hardcore fans, if it's not very good, will hate it. They might give it a chance, but they'll hate it if it doesn't work, if the first season isn't great, and it just won't inspire other, the peripheral fans are just going to go, another fucking reboot. I don't want to reboot. So there'll be a lot of negativity around it. Apparently, and The Expanse is just that nobody thinks it'll work. They just think it'll cost too much money, and
you have to spend a lot of money to make that look good. Is the thing.
Well, I mean, Amazon didn't, but yeah, I think that they'd have to restart it again. And the other thing, Apple was saying, I think I said this in the videos when I talked about it ages ago. Apple was sort of saying that they'd want to do something that was different or separate to the Amazon app. Says it started on Netflix and then it went to Amazon. It's going to come to us. We need to do something different, so it'd have to be something that stands alone. And apparently that just, I think there's a lots of big ideas that bounced around during the strikes, but actually the strikes just sucked all of the momentum out of Hollywood for lots of projects. The 18 thing that I was talking about, the 18 Knight Rider thing, that's just sat paused.
No.
Apparently it's not been sort of scrapped, but it's just not going any further than they. But they did go as far as check and see if with Disney to see if they could get the 18 rights. So they did look into it. They did go as far as that, but it didn't go any further than that. Oh, and the Space Above and Beyond, that's not happening either. So that's pretty much been. It's not. Again, it's one of those things. It's not been scrapped, but it's a bit like the Battlestar Galactica series. It's just sort of fizzled out.
Yeah.
People have gone on. The only sci-fi work you got coming up in the next year or two is going to be the Dancing Kirks. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, we've got Project Hail Mary 2026. I'm holding out everything for that.
I'm telling you, my girlfriend got me reading that book. She picked it up. Said, "Oh my God, you got it!" And I think Rocky is her favorite sci-fi character ever. But yeah, Project Hail Mary. I cannot wait. That was such a good book by Andy Weir. Such a good book.
So good.
Yeah. I like Trek to Reboot Space 1999.
Trekgate brought up a good point. Real quick, I did see Ian McAvoy. Halo 2, yeah, Halo was canceled. We talked about that on a little short. Yeah,
expensive shows that not enough people were watching getting cancelled. That's weird, isn't it?
Almost like the writing was on the wall somewhere. But okay, Trekgate brought a good point up here. He said, "I don't love MGM Plus, but I get it. It should have just can't even speak. Should just have it on Prime Video." He said just a second ago, "Hope the MGM Plus thing doesn't turn into a Stargate Command disaster." Do you think
I
it has
don't see whether they even do it yet. So I mean, it's just sat in limbo at the moment. But I think that's because they've switched back to wanting to do a movie. But that's I'm speculating. I don't know for sure. But
I guess even outside of just Stargate, do you think that's just how they're? Because honestly, MGM Plus is kind of being treated similarly to that, as in like, hey, watch it here, and then maybe you can watch it elsewhere in like a little bit. But watch it here first, pay for it here, and then there you go.
MGM Plus though is doing very nicely for something that doesn't really cost Amazon a lot of money. MGM Plus is it the fourth? It's quite high in America. It's quite high up on the list of like popular streaming services. And then when people are like asked, are they happy with it? It's got like a 70 or 80% like approval rating or something silly. It's really high because the people like watching these old MGM movies and things. So I love my MGM Plus. I watch it quite a lot.
I still want to watch. I still want to watch Beacon 23, I guess, but I want to watch Billy the Kid on MGM Plus. That's one of their originals that I'm actually interested in that I just haven't started yet, and I'd like to.
It's on Prime at the moment in the UK, but it's going off because it's going back onto MGM Plus. But we've got MGM Plus now. It's become MGM Plus.
Oh, okay, like proper
cool movies on there and stuff. So, but yeah, I think Amazon sort of went off the idea of the movie. I think I've said this a million times before. They went off the idea of the movie, but then now cinemas have started to build up again. They're thinking, maybe we'll go back to the movie plan. That seems to be the idea. But while they're doing that, the series is just in limbo. We won't get a series until the movie's done and out. And
let this Stuber guy come in here and make a movie real quick, which is what we always needed. Sorry for everybody that wants the TV show, because I get it. I want the TV show too, but like you got to do it properly, and there is a proper way of doing it. And a TV show is just with how skewed streaming numbers are. You don't know if the company's being honest. You don't know if the Nielsen number is actually correct because it's so different from like the company that like if Disney were to give you their numbers for their show or Amazon give you their numbers for their show, so on and so forth, Netflix, their numbers, they're all going to be a different number. No one knows exactly. And with all those different numbers not being like, everybody has a different answer. Nobody knows how to pay those things out really properly either. It's not the best way to herald in something that is that beloved. A movie is the proper way to do it. And
I think we'll get a standalone movie at some point, but I don't think there's any rush. And I actually think that I wouldn't put money on it not being a hard reboot. I think it'll do. I think we get to the point where it's going to be a hard reboot now. I think, or it'll be something that's separate enough, and they just reference the original occasionally. It won't be a continuation. I can't see it being a continuation anymore. It's just too much time has gone by, and all the momentum has just gone out of it. I think they will do it like a new show that references the old show occasionally. But again, I don't know that. Nobody's told me that. I just think that what I was told 18 months ago was if we didn't have an announcement by spring this year, then it'll probably be a hard reboot. And that was always sort of what the bosses at Amazon were saying. They basically said, look, you've got a year to give us something that we can work with, or we'll do something else. But Amazon don't do anything quickly. Mark Ferguson, Hawk Ostby is supposed to be producing that
God of War.
God of War. We haven't heard anything about that for 18 months. Nothing.
Literally nothing.
It's not been cancelled, but it's not in production. And those guys aren't doing anything else.
Because they still haven't even cast Kratos. Like, literally, Chris Judge was being, like, posting his physique online saying, yes, I might be old, but not, like, super old. But, like, I'm still plenty in freaking shape, and I got it. Like, let me do Kratos, you know?
Mm. Yeah, apparently they were willing to go for it. I heard from an agent that I spoke to, they were willing to. That was the rumor that they thought, you know what, we'll go for Chris Judge. They thought that they could actually I mean, obviously, he's not very Nordic in his temperament.
But also, he's like the character's not necessarily like his skin is all covered in ash anyway. Like that's that tone of skin anyway.
Yeah.
So like technically, just cover the dude in ash and you're fine. Anybody says anything, like stop
When
it.
I spoke to the guy I spoke to, he just sort of said they just get to the point with, we don't care. As long as the fans will accept it, then what do we care? And they've said was basically we think the fans will accept it.
You get the voice. That voice is perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, Amazon, bloody Amazon. But all of the studios are in a massive contraction at the moment, so they're not spending the money we'd like them to. But we'll see.
Well, going back to what you were discussing maybe a couple shows ago was how a lot of some of these studios are just needing studio space, right? And I know here in Albuquerque, Netflix has been spending money hand over fist to build out their studios.
Yeah,
and
it's not just building new studio spaces; it's spending a fortune refitting the old ones because the technology just is irrelevant now. So I think that's one of the problems Paramount have got. Apparently, that about half of their studio space desperately needs refurbishing. For example, they haven't got the power supply, so the cameras and everything need a certain. They need like 1 billion kilowatts of energy. I don't. But they're set up for like 1980s cameras and lighting and screens and green screens and blah blah blah. They're not set up for like 2020 technology
with a medium with like interactive backgrounds and things like that.
Yeah. Like volumes and so forth. But yeah, so I mean, here in Albuquerque, I think that's one of their advantages for Netflix is they don't have to go back and re-engineer a building. They just put up something that's brand new to spec, and they've got acres of solar panels to power the whole 1 billion kilowatts of power that's needed for these.
1 billion kilowatts. 1 billion kilowatts. Yeah, 1 billion kilowatts. That's it. 1.1 gigawatts. What was it? 1.6 gigawatts.
1.61 gigawatts.
1.61 gigawatts. So yeah, I mean, a lot of California studios, that's their big problem. But the Hackman Group are doing that. They're refitting studios like crazy. And most of the studios, the original Stargate studios are being rebuilt as we speak. But also they need different types of studio space, because before it would just be like set up for TV or movie, and that was basically what it was. Nowadays, they want 1.21 gigawatts. That's what it is. Yes. Nowadays, they want very small studio space for a lot of digital stuff that they do, or like doing podcasts and all this sort of thing, which are sometimes done in studios now. So they want little ones, and they want pretty big ones for things. But the movie sets now, they want enormous movie sets that can do all this thing that they just didn't have before. I mean, the James Bond studio set over here was I think it's pretty much the biggest soundstage in the world for years. And nowadays, it's just not big enough. It's, they need much, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff being rebuilt, but the Stargate ones have been completely rebuilt. The Hackman Group, the Canada big studio space in Canada, the Hackman Group pretty much demolished and completely rebuilt. They're spending $600 million on refitting them. And there's another one as well that they're just completely building from scratch. So yeah, it's not just about. But actually, that's what Paramount I think will do, is that they will spend a load of money. Skydance will spend a load of money upgrading about half of their studio space, and they'll knock the rest down and sell it for houses, and make some of the money back. I think that's probably what they'll do. I spoke to somebody who told me that there is a business model there, and it will mean that they will shrink an element of their studio space. But again, Warner Brothers were going to do the same thing if they got it. They were going to. That was kind of their business model, that we're going to sell crapload of land to make the money back. But Warner Brothers are in trouble. Oh, they're in trouble.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch. They're still talking about taking Discovery off again, right? They're talking about splitting the merge again, aren't they?
Yeah, splitting them back up again. That's another point that Seppi's just made. Amazon, we're moaning that, or we're panicking that they haven't done anything with Stargate. They haven't done anything with James Bond yet either.
Oh yeah.
So we really shouldn't be sorry. This is a slow ass moving company. So we shouldn't really be stressing too much about Stargate.
Aren't we about to get another anniversary, like a big anniversary for James Bond? Isn't it about to get like 60 or 65, 70 years, something like that?
No, it'll be 1960s when the first one came out.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be, but I don't care.
Each studio needs all 3 CPMs to function.
Good one, Bobby. Good one, Bobby.
Hey, you're barking with Steve. Steve, you are correct, my man. That's a great game. I haven't played it enough because I'll just always go back to something like Mass Effect if I'm going to play something like that. But yeah.
1969 was Her Majesty's Secret Service with George Lazenby.
1969. Maybe that's what they're waiting for.
The 55th anniversary this year, I think. Okay. That might be what I was thinking of. ZPM or ZPM? ZPM.
I think I say ZPM.
ZED?
It's Z. I think I would be C, D, and G. And they're going to be Q or X, A, Y, Z. No, I think I say Z. ZPM. What do you guys say?
I say ZPM. Oh, the Canadians say Z, but.
Kind of boot.
Z.
Yeah, fuck that.
Dr. No is 1962.
I thought Magic Secret Service was the first one. Was it no? Was it not?
Well, Sean Connery. There was one before Sean Connery, and it's they're right. It's 1962 for Dr. No.
Dr. No was the first Bond, wasn't it?
Was
it Magic Secret Service was then, and then with the Aussie fella, and then Sean Connery came back and did it again after Lazenby. He said, "I'm never doing another James Bond movie," and then they did Never Say Never.
Never say that. Just a little meta. They were Deadpool fourth wall breaking just a little bit back then.
But I'm not a massive James Bond fan, so don't quote me. But I find them a bit long, James Bond movies. I find them a bit.
A British person not liking James Bond?
I know. Well, I don't mind them. I'll watch them. Okay. Don't get me wrong, but they're a bit like the new ones. The first one, Casino Royale, I loved, but then they did Quantum of Solace, and it felt like an old-fashioned James Bond movie, and I'm like, this is shit. I don't like it. And then the last couple, no.
Skyfall wasn't my favorite Daniel Craig, but they all do tend to drag at certain points.
Yeah,
they kind of elongated certain points. They haven't aged.
Yeah, like Star Wars movies, they drag.
Hey, now Sean Connery. Okay, so we can jump back into Deadpool and Wolverine a little bit if you want to. But one thing, did y'all see at San Diego Comic-Con last night? Our new Doctor Doom is Robert Downey Jr. again. Or it's not again.
I missed that. Is it really?
It's Doctor Doom.
I thought that was another joke. I'm having such a hard time, separating the reality out from shit I can't believe. He's really going to be Doctor Doom?
Yeah. Where
I missed that.
It was really early on. Oh, I can't find it. I think it was Trek 8 that said it. It might have been somebody else, but they said somehow Tony Stark returned. Which
I saw that. I thought that was just a reference to Robert Downey against Doctor Doom sparks backlash from fans.
Yeah, no. Feige and Marvel brought him out on stage and were like, here's Doctor Doom. Or they said Avengers 5 is now Avengers Doomsday instead of Kang Dynasty because Jonathan Majors screwed that one up. So, was me. It was Icarus. There we go. Was me. Somehow, Tony Stark returned. It was Doom, Aaron. Tell me. I know you like it. I know you like it. I'm sorry. Do you like it? Let me know. I haven't actually seen it.
Well, I mean, I do like me some Tony Stark. I thought that was a very well, played character. But I guess I need to go back and review my Doctor Doom history. I'm trying to figure out I mean, unless it's some sort of crazy ass infinity, stone something or another. I mean, is he Kevlar Man now, or I mean, it's just instead of Iron Man, Platinum Man.
I missed this
single comment that just happened.
Asleep at the time, but
so there's a single comment that this happens. Do you know the most apt, I think, tweet or anything I've seen about it was, this feels like someone this feels like getting home for dinner when you were a kid and your mom says, all right, we're having leftovers.
Yeah, I'm still going with
well,
perfect is not the word I would use, Aaron.
Is Robert Downey Jr. in need of money or something? I mean, it's his zoo.
That's all that is. It's literally the dude can't find a good project and he's like, bring me back.
Is Deadpool going to be in it too?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised because it just reeks of desperation.
Just bring him back as Iron Man.
So I'm going to make a video about this.
They brought Dr. Manhattan back.
But before we dive into this, because it's going to correlate, Jay, do you think Deadpool and Wolverine, quote unquote, saved the MCU?
Robert Downey Jr., are we sure?
Yeah.
I love Robert Downey Jr., but you haven't broken me. Marvel have broken me. What?
Boom goes the brain.
I really thought that was total bull. I mean, because all three of us see so much bullshit on social media, right?
Yeah.
Like lesbians and acolyte never happened. I was so disappointed. But yeah, so then I saw, Tony Stark's going to be Doom, and we're right, whatever, oh look, puppies,
puppies. So he's just going to voice it. Because obviously Doom wears a big mask. I think it'll just be voicing it.
Well, he whenever he went out on stage, he's like, "It's a new mask, same task," and then something else. It was a fun little catchy little quip he had, But oh my god, it's
so fucking stupid.
Does Deadpool and Wolverine save the MCU?
No,
I don't think so. And this, I think, makes that feel like it's that much. The entire literally cash grab aspect of we're making jokes about money. Yeah,
it'll make some money for Marvel. So from that point of view, it'll keep them going a bit longer. But no, because it's not a superhero movie, really, is it? It's a superhero parody. And Robert Downey Jr. though, are we sure? Are you sure this isn't a joke?
It's not.
Okay.
Oh, that's what he said. He said, new mask, same task. What can I say? I like playing complicated characters. No, you don't. You like the money you make from Marvel. That's what you'd like, Robert Downey Jr.
I think he's got, I don't know. He must have shares in Marvel or something.
Oh, no, he does. He does.
Maybe we could just, to get Jay back into the reality and get him out of the shock troop feeling he's in. Bob had a good idea, or a good comment. Sean Connery was good in Outland. What if we do Outland 2 or something like that? Because I agree with Bob. Outland was really, really good.
Is that the one where he wears the mankini? Was that Outland?
Sean Connery was a sheriff of a space station, a mining space station.
Oh no, I like that one. I've seen that one.
That was really sharp.
Okay.
I think he's just got to be voicing it or something. It doesn't make any sense that he's actually.
There is comic precedence. There's one singular comic that this has ever happened in. One set of comics, I guess. One comic run. Same mask, different task, a lot of cash. There we go. That's what he should have said.
Bingo on that.
He should have just gone.
I believe they said he's going to be in Fantastic Four as well. I'm not positive, but I think so. I didn't watch it. Chillin, did they say that? Chillin will know. It makes it's such a okay. Oh, I don't. I don't want to. Quick spoiler. Come back in literally 20 seconds if you don't want a spoiler for Deadpool and Wolverine. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler, better be gone and come back in 30 seconds, tops. When Blade comes in and literally they make the joke about, oh, we'll never get a Blade movie, that is Marvel kicking themselves in the foot. Like, yeah, that's funny right now, topically for fans, but it's also saying, hey, we signed Mahershala Ali 6 freaking years ago, and we're not getting to what we told you we're going to get to. And Mr. Deadpool and Wolverine gonna save the MCU. It's not a good enough movie, first off, that it can't save the MCU. You literally are saying your next big movie, that like your biggest movie star that you have coming out with you, is like not gonna happen, essentially. And then you come out the next day and do this, give us leftovers, call it saving the MCU. Anyway, off the soapbox, back to not spoilers.
So one last spoiler, just in the very last though, it was Gollum destroyed the ring. Just saying.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Gollum in the next movie as well.
Yes.
He's going to be in Rings of Power as Gandalf.
Gollum's going to be wearing a power suit. Love it.
Yeah, hey Davey. No, I can't. No, just no. I'm not having it.
Well, you could always start a new YouTube channel on gardening. It should be safe.
Yeah, you should see my garden. It's lovely. It's covered in stones though, but I'm like nothing grows. That's one of the stupidest things I think I've heard in a while.
Like, I swear I saw that and I thought it had to been a joke or some sort of. I was saying, this AI imaging is just getting out of control, but no, it's just.
If he's gonna voice it, I'm like, oh yeah, fair enough, whatever. But are we actually going to see him on screen as Doctor Doom? Then I give up. I completely give up.
There's okay. 2 things I'm thinking about, and I'd love y'all's opinions on the 2 things. Is
oh God, thank you, sir.
Can this and does it at least have the potential to be good? Of course, he's a phenomenal actor. Literally just won an Oscar with Oppenheimer last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a good thing? Not necessarily can it be good because it has the potential to be good because he's that good of an actor. Is this going to be, I guess, is this at least going to be as good as some of the other Avengers movies, or do you think something like this immediately kind of throws it under the bus? And also, just as Robert Downey Jr. fans, because I'm sure we've all seen plenty of his other films outside of just Iron Man stuff, is this good for his career? Because the first thing he did right after Marvel, after Endgame, was Dr. Dolittle, and he's like, I'm going to do another franchise, and then literally he because that was so bad, he didn't get any other movie offers until Oppenheimer, and he wins an Oscar for it. Is he literally taking that Oscar and instead of going to find other projects that are worthwhile and going to like push him as an actor and further his career in acting, he's like, you know what? I'm going to take some cash instead.
Yeah.
Well, how much more cash does he need at this point?
Yeah,
I mean,
he had to pay for.
Didn't he have points on all of the films?
Yeah. Oh, he made a fortune. Hundreds of millions of dollars he made on Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. He made an absolute fortune. David just asked, does he need to finish watching Loki? No, you don't. You just need to know what the TVA is. As long as you know what the TVA is, you're good.
But Loki is I think is good enough to go ahead and finish watching.
Yeah, it's excellent.
It is excellent. It is excellent.
Best TV thing they've done. It's Loki for me.
And Eliath. There's one concept in Loki season 1 that you need to understand, but essentially the concept of it is like in quote unquote limbo. Essentially, there is a world eater that is kind of like a judgment where you would like be fine. You're sent to in your finality after limbo.
Yeah.
You
don't need to know. All you need to know there's a big bloody thing in the sky that's really dangerous and eats everything. You don't need to know more than that. It's fair enough.
Did you see Fantastic Four in 2005? It's Galactus at the end of that.
The one thing that I would say that does let me down with it, do you think one of the things I think why a lot of people have gone against Wolverine and Deadpool is because this film could never, ever have lived up to the hype. has this film just been massively overhyped?
Yes.
Yes, but I think if it literally, Rhett Reese is a great writer, and he's the guy that's written all 3 Deadpool movies. First and foremost, Reynolds has taken a big part, of course, because he has in it so much improv and just tells so many jokes and all these little different things. But Rhett Reese is the true writer for these movies, and he's written some great films. And we saw, this is the version of Rhett Reese where we didn't get Zombieland and Deadpool 2. Like it's great. He plays so good in that action comedy kind of world. And then he's also given us Zombieland 2. He's also given us Ghosted. That really, I know you enjoyed that movie, but it wasn't a good, it might be fun. It's fun, but it's not like
it was done on a budget. It was done quite quickly, probably. It wasn't, there wasn't a depth to it. It was a generic, Evans is available for a little bit, and we've got a pretty girl, and we're just going to make a generic film, and it'll be all right. And it was all right. I enjoyed it. It was okay.
And then he also did a movie with Ryan Reynolds for Netflix called Six Underground, which was a lot of fun, and it fits that popcorn flick kind of deal. But once again, there's not much of a plot, at least to
90% CGI.
Yeah, and that too. So I feel like we got Rhett Reese at his Ghosted, Six Underground, Zombieland 2 days instead of Deadpool 1, 2, and like Zombieland, where he really is.
Zombieland 2 is excellent. It's not as good as Zombieland, don't get me wrong, but Zombieland 2 is almost as good. It is still excellent. But Zombieland was brilliant because we'd not seen anything quite like it before. Zombieland 2 without Zombieland would still have been a really good film.
Yes.
But but you don't have the, it's not fresh, is it? Because it's a sequel, blah, blah, blah. But when Zombieland came out, it was so unusual for the genre of the film. The whole bit with Bill Murray in is just ball achingly funny. It's so good. The Zombieland was, and the Zombieland double tap. I do like Zombieland, But it took the whole zombie thing and flipped on its head, and I cannot tell you how much I love that. That's a film that got tested. About rewatchability sort of thing, and Wolverine and Deadpool probably doesn't have rewatchability. It's a film that you'll go to cinema and enjoy if you like Deadpool, but you might not be dying to watch. Zombieland is the sort of film that every few years I'll go, oh, Zombieland, also watch Zombieland. It's definitely the sort of film you can rewatch, and you'll see something you missed last time, and that sort of thing.
I could watch it once a year every October and be very happy.
Yeah, Zombieland is one of those good, Halloween month kind of films.
Yeah. And I guess where the whole, just thinking Deadpool and Wolverine again for a second, was like where I think Rhett Reese, this was not necessarily his best day at the office either. This is totally Sean Levy's biggest movie by far, the director. But it's not his best day at the office. This isn't the Adam Project. This is, what else did he do right before? This isn't even Cheaper by the Dozen and stuff like that. This is definitely not Stranger Things. This is Sean Levy with Free Guy. And I know people like Free Guy, but Free Guy just hurts me. Where it was, sure, it's a lot of fun, but I'm so tired of people walking out of a movie saying, that was so much fun. Watch TikTok if you want to laugh at something real quick. It needs to have substance. Even popcorn flicks should have substance. Free Guy had no substance.
It's not okay. Yes, that is what the goal. Obviously, they always want to have layers and the substance and soul, but not all films are that, mate. Not all films are. Some films are just one-hit wonders at the cinema. You'll watch, love, and never watch again. It's totally. Some films just like that.
But that shouldn't be $180 to $200 million film. That type of film, if you're going to spend that type of money and put literally thousands of people on a project, there is a place for popcorn flicks, and I love popcorn flicks. That's turn your brain off, turn the critical thing off. Marvel's never been that. Marvel has always been really good films tied in with a bit of popcorn there as well. And we've lost that in recent years, and we didn't gain it back with this one. And I think Sean Levy kind of he's because I like a lot of things he's done. I grew up on a lot of his rom-coms and stuff, and also Cheaper by the Dozen. That came out when I was a little kid. Pink Panther with Steve Martin as well. Great.
No, it wasn't. It was awful.
Oh, well, it's not. No, it's not. It's not truly great, but great as like a kid, like in like I can enjoy it type of way. In that, this is something that I just don't think it's not Sean Levy at his best day at the office, and I don't think Free Guy was either. And I get that the concept, I do like the concept of let's make a movie about nothing. But also, your nothing wasn't nothing. It was a whole world and stuff. And if you're going to world build an entire world build that thing. Don't just toss in fun little cameos. And, oh, guess what? It's under a Disney banner, so I can include lightsabers and shields now. Cool. That was cameos without cameos. That was literally his audition for this movie. And they're both so hollow. There's nothing of – I don't feel like he might have had fun while doing it, but I don't know if he truly enjoyed it from the film that came out, you know? Like, both are, like, fun quips. There's no heart or soul to either one of them. There are moments that try to be heartful, and there's not the actual like chutzpah.
With Deadpool and Wolverine, do you think if they'd have cut, say, 50% of the fourth wall stuff out and done a little bit more of an actual movie in between, do you think that would have made it better?
Infinitely.
I agree with you. I think it would have been a better film.
There are two other moments that irked me in Deadpool and Wolverine, and it's because
you're putting spoilers back up.
Oh, good point. Spoilers, real quick. This one's not that bad. I won't actually like spoil any plot points or anything like that. Because I mean, I'm talking about the fighting here. So whenever it comes to the fighting, it's either great or god awful, and there's not much of an in between in Deadpool and Wolverine. Where like
the one long fight scene, I actually think does stand out, and it's not very good.
Both of the longer fight scenes, big fight scenes. I'm
thinking about the one later on in the movie. But again, we won't do spoilers. Did we say there's multiple Deadpools at one point, isn't there? We say there's a big long fight scene. It's not very well done.
No, it's pretty shoddily well. And I was so excited because I was pissed off at the big fight right before it with the multitude of cameos and side characters and stuff like that. Because that's the one we're all like, oh, we're gonna get all these superheroes doing all their cool stuff, and instead of like, and we do get a moment with especially each one of like our cameos that became supporting characters. Wave when it's okay, we got you, Peter. We had a brief moment with each one of them, and we needed a true moment with each one of them. We wanted to see them actually using those powers, and sure, we got a couple like quick little things. But it didn't satiate waiting years and years and years for most of these characters to come back. Kind of like a decade and a half for most of them. One of the characters, first time you've ever seen the dude, and it's something like that. So that's really cool that you get to see this new character we've all been fan casting for a decade and a half. But if you're gonna do that, you've got to give us time with them. And they became supporting characters that when it went back to fighting, they were relegated to cameos again. They lost their supporting character title the second they went fighting again. And then the Deadpool fight at the very end with all the Deadpools. It
wasn't done well. It wasn't done.
And I was excited at the beginning of it because you actually see them kind of going in individually with each freaking Deadpool that they're having to fight. You see like their actual like the choreography is good until they're like, oh, now we're gonna do CG and do a little butt shot and yada yada yada. And it loses it completely. And that's what I wanted from the other fight is the beginning of that, where we follow each character at least for a little bit and then, hop off to a new character. Something like that. Instead of just your aerial shot of, okay, that's a bunch of people fighting on the ground. Cool. Because besides the one fight we saw in the trailer with Sabretooth, I wasn't a big fan of that fight. But the Deadpool Wolverine fights, the two of them when they fight one another are excellent. Well choreographed. Yeah. Put together, they're hard hitting, they're fun, they're badass, all the above, and then the other ones are just so lackluster compared to it. I don't know.
The finale as well. Just one last spoiler: the finale, Guardians of the Galaxy did it better. Just leave it there. Should we wave at Dave and let him come back? Hey Dave, come back now. We're done.
Peter.
Peter. But no, this film was seriously overhyped. I do think that. But I would honestly give it, compare it to other Deadpool movies. I'd give it 8 out of 10. But I think the first Deadpool was a 10 out of 10. I think the second Deadpool was a 6 or 7 out of 10. I didn't love it. This is I'm going to say this is like 8 out of 10 for me compared to a Deadpool, and compared to like a cinema movie, it's an easy 8 out of 10 movie for me. This is the sort of film you definitely want to see at the cinema. It's worth seeing at the cinema. It's excellent. Some of the special effects, and Marvel has sorted out the special effects of this movie. The CGI is pretty much bloody brilliant all the way through. The villain bit is genuinely excellent. If I'm going to compare it to Avengers, 5 out of 10. It's not. But it's different though, isn't it? Because it is a comedy. It is different. But yes, it's not Avengers Endgame. It's not.
It's not even Avengers Age of Ultron.
No, I love Age of Ultron. It's not Avengers Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron is up there with one of my favorite. Ultron is one of the best villains. I think he's fun. I think that movie is absolutely. It's near perfect. Age of Ultron. For me, I honestly think it's people piss on that a little bit, but I think it's up there.
I really enjoy it. I love me some James Spader. I wish Ultron's mouth didn't move necessarily, but besides that, like shit, if that's my biggest nitpick.
But I prefer these to Doctor Strange 2, Quantumania.
Yeah,
this Deadpool is way better than any other than that tripe we've had recently.
Sadly, though, it is in that Thor: Love and Thunder and Quantumania realm. That's just the closest thing it is.
I know. I think it's better than Love and Thunder. I do think it's better than that. I would put it more with like the level of sort of Shang-Chi. I like Shang-Chi, but it's not up there in my favorite Marvel movies. But it's better than fucking Doctor Strange 2 and all those films.
Yeah.
It's not a bad Marvel movie. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a bad Marvel movie, but yeah, okay. It's not Endgame that was genre-defining, epic, like Ben-Hur of, Marvel movies. It's not.
So between, like, on a scale between She-Hulk and Infinity War, where would you put?
It's more towards the Infinity War thing, but for me, mate, it would be Infinity War, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get in my car and drive several hours in that direction, and then that'd be like She-Hulk. And then Deadpool is more in the Deadpool would be in my house at least. But I fucking hate She-Hulk. I hate it so much. I would rather sandpaper my elbows and then dip them in salt and then punch myself in the dick than watch She-Hulk again.
Well, at least we cleared that up.
Yeah, it's the worst. Oh, and a scale between She-Hulk and Secret Wars. If I was to watch Secret Wars again, I would have to get in my car. I'd be at your house, Stormy, but before I'd drive past your house and keep going, and I'd be speaking Chinese before I was going. This is roughly where I put Secret Wars. Secret Wars was so
Secret Invasion.
Fucking Secret Invasion. Sorry, was so fucking bad. I mean, the creators should Harry carry themselves. Honestly, it's so bad.
It was awful.
So
I cover my manhood in Marmite and marmalade and stick it in a nest of those ants that are like those bullet ants, and then watch Secret Invasion again.
Like the ants in Indiana Jones 4.
Oh yeah, no bother. Apparently, like these ants, it's the equivalent of getting shot. It's like the pain, and I would just, like, smothering all my gentleman area in just like ant nip, and go, come on, boys, rather than watch Secret Invasion again. It was fucking awful. It's really bad.
So
they love it. They fucking love Marmite. They go for it like crazy. Or they hate it and they sting me because of it. Oh, it's just bad. But Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was pretty good, actually. I did like that.
Stormy, just from like Deadpool and Deadpool 2, how would you rate those, I guess, for the Deadpool movies, and then how would you rate them for Marvel movies?
I think, well, as just a standalone, I thought they were both very good. I mean, Ryan Reynolds really does have a sense of comedic delivery that's just you just can't get anywhere. I mean, he is good. In Marvel movies, I think if you look at comedy in the MCU, previous to that, it was just Guardians of the Galaxy. And God, I love Rocket. Fucking Rocket. It was, but yeah, but I think Deadpool, does that same thing, provides a comic element to the MCU. It's just different. I think the most memorable thing is he is at the Dr. Professor X's school, right? And he's doing this scene in the hallway, and you see all the cast from X-Men, and they just slowly close the door.
Yeah, I do like that. That's a great scene.
And that was of both of those movies, that was just, I laughed my ass off at that, and it was the most memorable for me. Because can you imagine getting all those people together for one scene, and they're all looking, and they just close the door, and that's it.
It's only because they were filming another Last Stand at the time.
Oh, was that how that happened?
The only reason they were able to do that was because they were filming a film. They were filming.
It was just hysterical.
It worked out perfectly, though.
It worked out perfectly. So the two other things I want to bring up is Silo 2 comes out in November 15th. That got announced this last week. And there's another thing I was wanting to talk about, because I didn't believe the Doctor Doom thing with Robert Downey Jr. This fucking can't be true. And then I saw slated for 2026 Darth Vader, a Star Wars story. And the trailer looks really good on YouTube.
That was a fan thing. I don't think
was that because that got there was a fake, apparently there was a fake announcement that went out, and half of fandom went crazy for it. I just want to make sure. I mean, I thought the Doctor Doom thing was fake, and so apparently it's true. So I just have to check in and make sure the Darth Vader thing is fake.
We hope. Well, because it was weird. They have, obviously, Mando and Grogu is going to be slated for 2026, but they also have an untitled Star Wars movie slated for 2026, and we've always kind of assumed that's going to be like the Rey movie, most likely. That
right.
I can't remember the director's name properly. There's an O and a C and an M somewhere. But now that's kind of been in hesitation because it might be Sean Levy's movie. It might be
right
Taika Waititi's movie. Finally, we don't necessarily know.
Yeah, that's been scrapped, isn't it? They're not doing the Taika Waititi movie now.
Yeah, there's about a 99% chance that's not happening.
Yeah. I think he's come out and said it, hasn't he? That he's going to be doing. He's got other things he's going to do instead.
He hasn't said he's not doing it. He just said, "I don't know when I'm going to be able to have the time to do it." It's like,
I think that was basically what he's saying. Yeah, I'm very busy, so we'll see. Do you think they should just scrap? If you were Disney, you'd be like looking at Marvel and go, well, you look at Marvel and Wolverine and go, "Whoo, money, happy days." Mickey Mouse is doing backflips in that the vault that McDuck's got. He's got a massive vault that's full of money, and he goes swimming in it. Mickey Mouse is swimming in his gold at the moment. But if you had Star Wars, would you be looking at it going, should we scrap it? Should we stop making new Star Wars?
We need to put lesbians in Star Wars, I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? I'd be thinking about the same thing about Star Trek. I'm not sure people like this.
Well, I think the thing that happened, I guess the catalyst for both of them are they both have J.J. Abrams problems, and I hate to say it, but he started both of the issues at both. They didn't take the time to plan out something properly that would both be a cool new movie and something that would be like, hey, these fans have loved this for decades, so let's give them something that actually makes sense for the lore far and wide, instead of let me just kind of like put some lore tidbits in there and redo an old movie and just change the bones and structure of it just a bit. Because that's what he did with Star Trek and Star Wars, and get Bad Robot as far away from Stargate as possible, because we don't need them having a J.J. Abrams problem either. and it's more than J.J. Abrams. Of course, Star Wars is Kathleen Kennedy and Kurtzman and all these different people are over with Secret Hideout over at Trek, but you can't herald in a new era of something with that. You know, with something that doesn't care about the property at hand. Because as Force Awakens was a lot of fun, but it doesn't care about Star Wars. All it did was rehash original Star Wars. If you cared about Star Wars, there might be bits of, sure, poetry, rhymes. There's a little bit of copy and paste, as Justin always likes to say, but that's okay when you bring new story as well. It didn't bring new story, and then when Rian Johnson did bring new story, he threw out everything that we actually cared about to bring in that new story, and where I think that would have been a great Star Wars movie if it was not a Skywalker Star Wars movie. It was inherently not a good Star Wars movie because of that. And like James is saying right here, you can't build on failure. And sorry, JJ, whether those movies made money or not, you put everybody in, you set everybody up for failure. And
do you know that Bad Robot's got an exclusivity deal with Warner Brothers, and they had a 5-year exclusivity deal for $250 million. Warner Brothers paid for it. Do you know when that runs out?
Oh God!
But they didn't produce anything during that time, did they?
It runs out in 6 weeks.
Holy shit!
And they've done nothing.
Well, how much does Warner Brothers owe now? I mean, aren't they
15 billion?
Wait, is 15 billion a serious number? Or is that like the billion kilowatt thing? Is that 15 billion?
They owe 15 billion with a B. 15 billion.
Well, it's more than I can cover. I'm sorry.
Their stock price a couple of days ago, because they lost a couple of rights to a couple of different things. When it was announced that they'd lost the rights to loads of these different projects that they had on the go, their stock price dropped by like 30%. So that didn't help. Warner Brothers are in a serious financial shizer at the moment. It's not good.
It's kind of wild that they were trying to play their hand and get Paramount under their umbrella as well, because then they would have just screwed up 2 companies instead of just one. You know,
I honestly think the Warner Brothers went to that when the Paramount's for sale. Oh yeah, have you got any money? Oh no, any money. You want money? We'll take on your debt, and then other companies went up and we'll give you money and take the debt. And then Warner Brothers went, oh, we can't do that. Like checking their back pockets. Like, oh, no, I haven't got any money. Can you give us about 5 billion quid?
Please.
I forget what the final deal's worth now. It's a few billion quid, wasn't it?
All right. The guy that made the trailers for the Darth Vader thing is his name is Darth Trailer.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I just had to check in because there's so much things like I just didn't believe coming out of Comic-Con. I just want to make sure I didn't miss.
There was a story that Robert Downey Jr. was going to play Doom, mate.
Yeah, that's confusing enough. What is real?
If you believe that, then you're a complete moron.
Yeah.
I wonder what else would be out today, though, isn't it? Because it's the last day today, and it only just kicked off, won't it? So we might still get some Star Trek stuff today. We might still get some other things today. So it's not over yet. I'll do a roundup video when it's all done and dusted and we know exactly what's happening. Apparently, traditionally, they announce the big stuff on Sunday. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, today's going to be interesting. And Monk, I'm with you. I liked The Last Jedi a lot when I walked out of it. 5 minutes later, I got pissed off because I started thinking about like the lore of Star Wars. But it might be one of the best actual Star Wars movies we've gotten if it wasn't about the Skywalkers. The fact that Leia's floating through space, not breathing, and Luke dies in the way he dies, come on. That shouldn't have been Skywalkers. Any other characters, if those were just average Jedi or just cool Jedi, sick. You know?
And then she just sort of wakes up and go, I'm going to fly back. Yeah, stupid. I like The Last Jedi, but it's a bit like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, that as long as I don't think of them as Star Trek movies, I really enjoy them. The Last Jedi, I enjoyed The Last Jedi. It's probably one of my favorite Star Wars movies, but I don't like Star Wars. So that should really tell you a lot. I don't love Star Wars. I don't dislike it. I don't love Star Wars like you guys do, or like Harris, you do, me. But I really enjoyed The Last Jedi, and that should tell you everything you need to know about the film. Really, it's not really a Star Wars movie.
No. Where was it? Have y'all seen I haven't seen the new Penguin trailer, but I really liked the last Penguin trailer.
Yeah, I've not seen I saw the first one. I've not seen the one since. They've dropped a load of the other Batman plans. I didn't know they had a couple of other things planned, and they've been dropped now. So, but that's just like everything's being dropped at the moment.
Hey, that is thank you, James Caserta. That is a wonderful sentence. Canon is only a restraint to bad writers. I might steal that and say that to people all the time out here because people always are like, "No, you canon is meant to be broken." I'm like, "No. Rules are meant to be broken. Canonical rules. That's like the framework for your world.
Yeah.
You don't break that." Like,
I think there's canon, and then there's a line that you shouldn't cross. I do think there's certain canon you shouldn't break. If something is very specifically happened on screen and it matters to the story, you know what I mean? It's like something relevant, then you shouldn't break it.
Mm-hmm.
But even the fans don't really care if canon is broken cleverly. If they break it and actually do it in a clever way, or if fans don't care. Really, TNG broke canon all the time, and nobody really cared because the show was so good.
If you make good story and then you keep to what your change is, you're fine, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, so yeah, that's that. But and also, if you got something like Star Trek, even Stargate, there's so much of it; it's almost impossible not to break some canon. But I mean, somebody like, oh, he shouldn't be wearing that t-shirt because he's no, piss off. Just like,
and there are simple times where they've broken their own canon too, like the ZPM stuff, you know.
Yeah, the bloody penis gun. They changed the rules on that. Don't matter. You know, like there's certain things though that they shouldn't break, and that's where they get the multiverse crap, though, don't they? Because they get there's so much Star Trek. There's so much canon, and then they want for some reason they insist on doing fucking prequels, and I'm just like, just don't do a prequel, then you don't have to worry about canon. You fucking morons. Just do Star Trek 5 years after the TNG ended. There's no canon to break.
There's
you do Star Trek. You fucking idiots. But they have to keep doing prequels and keep to make it. But there's so much Star Trek they can't. So what they do is they go, oh well, it's multiverse. It's fine. It's not really the same universe.
Multiverse. Yeah, I was tired of that the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
See, I love the concept.
It's fine.
The only people that have ever done multiverse right are plenty of TV shows. There are plenty of TV shows that have done multiverse right, and it's because it's small scale and they don't have the budget to go crazy and let's do 40 versions of this dude, or let's bring 4 different actors in to play this one guy or something like that. Like smaller shows tend to do it fine, and then Everything Everywhere All at Once proved that hey, you can actually turn this into a 2-hour movie, 2.5-hour movie, and have a great movie with multiverse. And then every single other multiverse movie we've seen has not been very good.
The thing is that Everything Always, that was a multiverse movie. Mm-hmm. So the point of the film was that it was multiverse and different things going on, and that was the point of the film. My beef is when they use multiverse as a get out of jail free card, and it's sort of like, oh, we need to do a movie and we want to do this and that's going to annoy the fans, so multiverse, and then we can get away with that, and then that's fine now because we can do whatever we like now because it's different because it's multiverse. You know what I mean? It's an excuse to do the film rather than the point of the film, you know? And that's
yes.
So a multiverse film for me, I have absolutely no problem with it if that's the point of the movie and it's done well. It annoys me when it's used as an excuse. And time travel's the same. They use time travel. A time travel movie, great. Time travel used in a movie as a plot device to allow them to do something it's annoying and it never works.
Yeah, and time loops as well, like a Groundhog Day or something like that. Time loop movies as well. Same thing where they can just kind of drag on, run on, and then you get a movie like I don't know if y'all saw Palm Springs, I believe, a couple years ago. Yeah. Andy Samberg and Allison Brie. Great.
I love that film.
Great. So
it's really
good.
clever film, that. Really, it went under the radar, that film, didn't it? Nobody really watched it, I don't think, but it was really done really well.
I didn't even
clever.
watch it in theaters. I watched it on a plane, and then I got home, realized it was on Hulu, and it was like, I'm gonna watch this again this weekend. Watched it twice in a weekend. I loved it.
I think I watched it on Amazon or something. I really liked it. I thought it was really good.
And it was called Palm Springs.
Palm Springs. Oh, it's really good. But don't read the blurb on it or anything. Just watch it. Right, and then about halfway through, you'll go, "Oh, it's not what I thought," and it does that all the way through. It's like, it's also I thought this was a rom-com. It's not a rom-com, and it's really clever. It's just a nice film, isn't it? It's just you come away from going, that wasn't what I was expecting. It's better than I thought.
Not at all. Yeah. Like, literally, I just turned it on the plane. I was like, oh, shit, I did miss that in theaters, didn't I? And I was like, okay, I got 3 hours to kill. Let me watch it. And, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours, not a long one, but it was so good. I was shocked how good it was.
Yeah, really clever. Really clever. Boss Level is really good as well. That's another film that you go into it and you don't expect anything. I didn't enjoy Looper, but I think I didn't enjoy Looper because of Joseph Levitt's makeup.
Oh, yeah.
They've made him look like Bruce Willis. No, they haven't. No, they've made him look like he's had an accident in a condom making machine. It's not right. I completely stole that joke from Red Dwarf, but I'm okay with it. But yeah, I love Boss Level. I thought Boss Level was really good. My wife fell asleep during that. She still hasn't watched it.
David, what do you mean the last story part of it? Because I really enjoyed Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I really liked the way they ended it too, where they kind of did y'all see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
No, never watched any of the Planet of the Apes movies. They're all stupid.
Oh,
don't
really?
like them. No. You ruined it. You crazy? No, I'm not a Planet of the Apes guy. Sorry.
That's OG stuff. I think you would like the new stuff at least. But if you're not already like a fan of the old stuff, it would be like harder to jump into. Yes.
I'm going to do my Scarlett Johansson impression. It's my Scarlett Johansson impression. Nailed it.
I thought you were going to stuff something in your shirt real quick.
No, it's just my Scarlett Johansson. It's also my general fish impression as well. We're gonna have to call it a day, gentlemen.
Yeah,
it's a day. I declare.
I am gone.
So,
it was good to see you again, as always, sir.
Wonderful seeing you. Shall we end it with just what we've watched this week, and then Finn?
Just. I watched this really good film with Deadpool and Wolverine in it. It's good. I'm still watching old stuff. So, I tell you what I did try to watch, and it didn't help. The new version of Quantum Leap. I tried again.
Oh,
it's
I didn't get past episode 1.
I got halfway through the first season and I gave in.
Oh, wow.
I am watching. I am enjoying actually. Is it Lois and Superman and Lois?
Superman and Lois.
I can't believe they've cancelled that. It's really good. It's like proper old school, like it was made in the early noughties. It feels like a noughties TV show, you know. And I really like it. It's what TV shows used to be all the time, and I really like it.
Is it bad? I'm not happy that it got canceled, but I've been waiting for it to get canceled so I can watch it. Because I'm so tired of all the CW stuff, and I know if I start doing that, part of me is going to be like, oh, well, I should go finish where I left off in Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, and all that. I just have like 1 or 2 seasons.
No, watch it standalone.
But I can't do that.
But I'm watching the 3rd season of that at the moment. It's perfect background sort of. When I'm working, I can put it on, and I can work and watch it in the background. Or when I'm working and I stop and having my lunch, I can just throw an episode on for half an hour, sort of thing. I really, and it is naughty. But I really enjoy it. I'm watching that at the moment, but I'm watching Boston Legal again for like by the 9th time as well.
Nice.
There's nothing particularly new on at the moment that
Are you watching House of the Dragon as well?
With the wife, I'm watching House of the Dragon. But we're a couple of episodes behind. I'm watching Tracker. I quite like that on Disney. I'm quite enjoying that. But again, that's just a TV show we put on when we don't want to watch anything else.
What's that?
Me and my wife watch. It's on Disney. It's a guy that is based on a book, and it's a guy that basically finds people for money. He goes around and he collects. I was going to say ransom. Then that's not right. Rewards. He collects some rewards. But that's all right. Just finished the first season of that. And Cleaning Lady. I just finished the first season of Cleaning Lady. I'm enjoying that as well.
What's that?
Oh, no, it's Cleaning Lady. It's had 4 seasons now. It's the woman that played Elektra from Daredevil.
Really?
Yeah. And she's literally a cleaning lady into mobsters and stuff. But yeah, I watch.
Well, that's on Apple Plus, isn't it?
I've got Sky Atlantic over here, so we just got Sky.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good. I'm really enjoying the first season. We're about to go into the second. So we'll see.
Anybody watch Time Bandits? I remember wanting to watch it. I just guess I didn't realize it was even out.
I've got it in my Jennifer Garner. Do you know the Jennifer Garner tie-in with J.J. Abrams?
Yeah. So it's just 3 or 4 things at the same time. What, 2?
No,
I can do 3 things at the same
Alias?
time.
What was it?
Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, I like Jennifer Garner.
Is that what you're talking about, or?
Yeah. She did a show, Alias. Yeah, she did a show, and that was the J.J. Abrams product. And I think as before J.J. Abrams really learned how to fuck things up, because that was a really good show, I thought.
That was a good show.
This week I started with a catching up on House of the Dragon. I'm thinking about where Jay is, and started rewatching Star Trek Enterprise again. I had the urge and just started watching it in the background. Then I just put Warcraft down and just watched it right out. That's about all I've watched this week. I do have Evil in my queue. I do have Evil in the queue, but I haven't gotten around to Evil yet.
Evil needs to be watched. I'm having to look up what other movies I freaking watched this week. Oh wait, do I see a movie today? No. I forget which freaking movies I buy on my own thing. But House of the Dragon, I've caught up in. Did y'all watch The Boys finale last week?
No, I haven't caught up with
The Boys. I'm about 2/3 of the way through the season. I might be a bit further along than that, but my wife won't watch it, so I have to watch it when she's not about. But I'm not loving it. Seeing The Boys, the first season of The Boys, it was my favorite show. I was like, this is the greatest show ever, and I was going on to everybody about it. I'm watching it now, going, they've done this.
It is Bob's mentioning Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. Are you talking the one about back in the 80s? Or is there a new one? Is there a new version?
No, there was only one version, but yeah,
okay.
I think it was in the 90s. But yeah, I don't know.
The 90s, yeah.
90s
I saw a couple of those. I really liked.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize Time Bandits was Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Yeah, it's in the queue also.
I've not watched it yet. Love the original.
So I guess I did finish The Boys this past week on this past Wednesday, Thursday, which the final episode was badass. The rest of the season, not so much. There's elements of badassery and just fun things and cool things going on, but even the story beats just don't hit the way they have the last couple of seasons. What? Besides that, Deadpool, Wolverine, House of the Dragon, of course. The Boys are the definition of gratuitous. Yeah.
It's too much. I think I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm getting bored of it now. It's just constantly trying to shock me, and I'm just like, it doesn't work anymore.
They didn't have like any singular large shocks this season, which I kind of appreciated because they always like have that one or two, like in that first or second episode, like the whale in season 2, the girlfriend in season 1, the dude exploding the dick in season 3. Like all those big things were like, whoa. There wasn't like a whoa necessarily.
Good times.
Good times. At the
period blood weapons. No, it's not for me. It's not for me, man.
Umbrella Academy is great.
Okay, I gotta admit, man, the period blood strangulation monster, whatever the fuck that was. That was.
You got this week.
Yeah, that was.
No, it didn't do it for me. Umbrella Academy is very good, but it meandered in season 3.
But I guess I haven't watched a whole bunch necessarily this week either. I did play a little Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect game, which is not watching something, but the cutscenes are cinematic as all get out. And, thinking about it, I really think Mass Effect, like the video games, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, very well may be my favorite sci-fi story of all time. I think it's legitimately a phenomenal freaking story. It'd be almost impossible to do it well and do it justice in a film. It'd probably have to be a dozen films to actually make it truly work. But it's so good. So good. But yeah. Love to watch. Well, what are we? Hour 52? Y'all red-eyed, Jedi's?
Please stop.
I'm not even going to just,
before you stop is please do. It was on loop. It was going to keep going. I forgot the loop was on. We're good. We're good. Looking forward to Stranger World, Umbrella Season 3, and Stranger Things. We needed Sean Levy from Stranger Things for Deadpool Wolverine. We didn't need
the Italian cheese fella from Manchester United. I've just seen the terms have been agreed. So, Man United news, you hit it here first. Oh, dear. You hear everything else.
How would you say that'd be Manuel Ugarte, or it wouldn't be Ugarte?
Manuel Ugarte.
Oh,
can somebody message J. Michael Straczynski for me and just say Jay says told you so? Would that be okay?
Because you're banned from him already. Next thing's gonna be like some sort of a restraining.
The Twitter account we had to reactivate, and it kind of is essentially a new one now, so we can just message him for the same account and be like, hey.
Get banned twice.
Brad Wright again. You need to add Brad Wright again. See if he adds you back. What was I going to say then? I was going to say something else. Oh, the new thing with the RTD from is it RTD? The Doctor Who guy. I did that video just saying about again, and it's not just me. It's Deadline saying it as well that Disney are really not happy, and they're talking about not doing a third season and dropping and not extending the deal with them. So they're putting a lot of pressure on that if they do a third season, they want something different. But they went way further than me. They want the Doctor gone. They want that Shooty Gatwa gone and stuff. And I've not heard that. I've just heard that they initially at least they think there needs to be a new showrunner. And somebody commented, "Oh my God, the ego on you! You're just wrong. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about." Wrong. I'm like, it's Deadline. Deadline is saying it. It's not just me. I just said it first. I'm like, okay, Deadline.
It is kind of funny. You notice the fella's not here this week, which is kind of funny. A couple quick things. Peter, not one mention of the Olympics. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't have the intrigue or want to really watch it. I'm totally going to watch some. It's just I'm not going out of my way to watch it right now. What about y'all?
Yeah. Sarah's made a good point there, and that's what I was trying to make a point in my video. This guy was saying, Disney doesn't own Doctor Who. Can't tell what Doctor Who. I'm sorry. Disney give you hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not hundreds. It's never that much. But Disney put your platform on Disney Plus, and they're your biggest customer by a mile. If they say they're not happy about something, the BBC and the fucking Bad Wolf aren't going to go, well, fuck you, Disney. They're going to go, okay, well, let's negotiate and let's have a conversation. And that's all I'm saying is happening. But anyway, we will do the Star Wars damn debate. Dave's asking when it's going to happen. We will do it. We will.
That'll be the third thing. So, yeah, the Olympic thing, that's just interesting. I'm surprised we didn't even think about it. Not one mention, yeah. But also, I think it was Peter that also said this earlier. There is a video game strike going on with SAG now. So, SAG is actually on strike again. Voice actors particularly are on strike with video games. I'm sure we're going to talk about that. It will come up, and there will be things that correlate to everything, but it's just not necessarily your sci-fi TV and movie channel news currently, but we'll rope in some video game stuff if it becomes relevant, or if obviously voice acting goes into shows as well. So if it starts affecting Star Trek Prodigy, Lower Decks, Rick and Morty, Solar Opposites, Futurama, things like that, then yeah, we're definitely going to get into it, and there will be stuff to talk about it. So we will.
We promise.
Why would we talk about the French? The only French I want to talk about is Frenchie from The Boys, honestly, because he's the reason you need to finish The Boys season 4. Because there's a moment we've been waiting for that finally happens, which is.
We can always talk about Fifth Element, I guess, if we were really pressed.
Yeah, definitive.
But our finality is yes, we will be doing a Star Wars, Star Trek debate soon. We just have to figure out because we wanted to do it Saturday, so it didn't run into this stream. We wanted to keep those separate, But Saturdays might just be hard timing wise on everybody, so we might end up having to do it in the stead of a stream. Maybe we'll do both and do a little hangout stream after
Sunday. We could do the Star Wars thing as a stream, and then we could do a follow-up stream where we just talk about crap,
like we did for Brad Wright or something.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
We could split it. Anyway,
all this striking SAG feels a little bit like Tia. Yeah.
Oh, please let me go.
All right. Well, we love y'all. Thank y'all.
Y'all be good. Thank you.
Bye.
Jay, take care of yourself and each other.
Always. I'm so tired.
Bye.